guys, welcome back here to the King Ellie Show, people. It's been a minute. Thinking about what? It was a month? I think it was a month and a half. Um, been busy, guys. Started a new job been working at Amazon. So I've been really busy. And also, plus wrestling's not put me in the mood. I mean, honestly, this pandemic is just sucking the life out of everything. At least we have basketball back to keep us a little bit sane. But as far as wrestling, I wasn't really in the mood. I haven't even been watching. I mean, I haven't watched the full NXT in God knows how long. SmackDown and Raw just been both like the storylines and then them being Performance Center just wasn't great. I haven't watched AEW hardly, so just like the pandemic just sucked me out of not wanting to watch wrestling at this point. So I gave it a shot on Friday because Vince McMahon's like, oh, let's make a new idea because again, the ratings for Raw and SmackDown. I've been getting more of the ratings and stuff like that, but the ratings as far as Raw and SmackDown have been terrible. So Vince is like, oh, we got to make something to get these people to come back and watch Raw and SmackDown. And honestly, he should have done this I know he couldn't do this from the beginning because, again, the Amway Center, I'm sure, man, maybe Vince could have. Maybe Vince would have called up the Amway Center and said, hey, I'll be doing testing because the Amway Center is the home of the Orlando Magic for basketball, mainly. So we don't know if he could have done that from the beginning, but as far as being the Performance Center, it just was no oomph to it. Then you had the superstars acting as fans, trying to make noise. That wasn't great. I mean, honestly, could they have done what AEW's doing now, which have half fans, but like spread out through the arena? You know, maybe, but they're going the virtual way. So I gave it a shot on SmackDown. The setup looked great on SmackDown, but they still have the piped in 2K. They still have the piped in 2K sound noise. So that's still not great. But I mean, it looks better. So it's like, okay, let me just give it a shot. So I saw Takeover was this weekend. So watch Takeover. Takeover was decent, but even with NXT, bro, even with the Takeover, it's just with no fans, it just feels so lifeless. Like even though it was a great ladder match, but coming off with no fans, that's kind of like ugh. Then you had Keith Lee and Cross. That match was. Listen, that's with no fans. Wrestling is just hard to watch. So I gave SummerSlam a shot last night. So we're back to talk about SummerSlam. Am I back full time now, guys? Is probably your answer. Am I back full time? Yes, I'm back full time. Even though with my job at Amazon, I'm gonna still try to give you guys something every day. So I'm back for now. So we gotta get to the Batman trailer, a bunch of other stuff later for today. But I gave SummerSlam a chance. Now we'll get to the big topic, which is, of course, my man Roman Reigns. Which the funny thing is, he's back now. With COVID, it's actually worse now than when he left. But he's back now. But let's see what happens with him. So we'll save Roman for last, because that's honestly the most important thing that happened on SummerSlam. But overall for SummerSlam with the virtual fans, the setup of the stage, I mean, to me, I don't get it. If you're gonna have virtual fans, I mean, let them make noise. I mean, we had some crazy stuff last night. We had a Pikachu sighting last night. We had a Fire Velveteen Dream sign last night. A bunch of stuff on the virtual fans. But if you're going to have them, let them make some noise. There's no point in having them to sit there and you can't hear them. I mean, it could be going crazy if you let everybody speak. But, I mean, you should at least let them boo or cheer something. It could be a button that they could press to say boo, cheer, something. That would work. Let them have a button where they can press boo or cheer, or something like that. Boo, cheer, or some type of noise that they can make. Something. But whatever. It looks better in the Amway Center. That I'll give them. This having them in the Amway Center makes me intrigued to want to watch. But God, if they're in the PC, I mean, I couldn't take this no more if they're in the PC. But let's get the SummerSlam review, and then we'll get into my thoughts of what I see going forward with this. Okay? So we had an MVP versus Apollo Crews. Honestly, guys, I didn't watch it. I was watching the Clippers and the Mavericks game. Let's be honest. I was watching the Clippers and the Mavericks game. I didn't watch MVP versus Apollo Crews. I know Apollo Crews did win, but come on. You got to watch the Don, Luka Doncic, man. That man's a freaking beast. So I was watching the Clippers-Mavericks game. Then once that ended, honestly, when that game did end in overtime, SummerSlam was about to start in 10 minutes. So I watched the end of the Clippers-Mavericks, and Apollo Crews was MVP. I didn't see it, but I know Apollo Crews did win. So we kicked off SummerSlam with my girl Bayley against my girl Asuka. We'll get to Sasha in a minute, but Jesus Christ, the way they treat Sasha. We'll get to her in a minute. Bayley versus Asuka. I was questioning why would they open SummerSlam But then when we got to the tag team match, I was like, yeah, okay, that's why they opened SummerSlam with Bayley and Asuka. Because you would think if you open up SummerSlam, you would open up with the tag team match. But, the way that turned out, Bayley and Asuka was the right choice to open up SummerSlam. Bayley and Asuka, it was a decent match. I enjoyed it. It's crazy how much Bayley's gotten better. Like, when Bayley first started wrestling on the main roster, because NXT, when you're at NXT, you're at your peak. Okay, you're at your peak when you're at NXT. Because you get to the main roster, everybody just gets watered down on the main roster. But it's crazy how much Bayley's gotten better as he's been a heel. Like, I've enjoyed Bayley more as a heel. And Bayley keeps her... Listen, once they brought up Bayley's title reign length, I was like, oh, she's going to win. She's going to win. No, there's no way Asuka's beating Bayley. She's probably going to beat Sasha. But Bayley was, 318 days as been SmackDown Women's Champion. Decent little match here. I had a feeling Bayley was going to win. But Bayley did win. Asuka took the L for tonight. She took the L for tonight. The next we got the tag team title match, which I thought was going to be better than what we thought it. I thought this tag team title match was going to be better than what it was, but it's crazy. But how do you have the Street Profits? Listen, the Street Profits in NXT, literally, guys. I mean, they had great matches with what? Who did they face in NXT? They faced the Viking Raiders, I believe. Oh no, they didn't. Who did they beat for the belt in NXT? I'm trying to think. It was the Undisputed Era. Yeah, it was Undisputed. Like, come on, man. You go from facing the Undisputed Era and NXT having great matches. They had a great ladder match in NXT. Yet, they get to the main roster just like, they're like everybody else. It's like, damn, you just watered them down completely. But the Street Profits did beat, this is another issue I'm having. Montez Ford was poison. Yet, you have a regular standard match. I know we had Falls Count Anywhere, we had street fights, no DQ matches, but you couldn't do a little something. Maybe you could have done a ladder match. Yeah, you could have. I don't care if NXT had a ladder match on Saturday. You still could have done a ladder match here. Or you could have done a tornado tag match, Falls Count Anywhere, something. Not a standard match. If you poisoned me, if this was the Attitude Era, this would have been a ladder match or it would have been a tornado tag match. This would not have been a standard tag team match. That was my issue with this match. If you poison somebody, you're having a regular standard tag team match. Didn't work for me. Overall, the match, it was okay. Nothing great, nothing special. It'll be like one of the matches that you'd fast forward. And that's a damn shame I'm saying fast forward. Because I love the Street Profits, but it's just like Vince watered down everybody else. It's just like, you don't care. Andrade and Angel Garza look like they're going to break up. Like they had this going for like 2 months ago, but they had to stop it to Austin Theory being whatever, him having the allegations of the allegations Austin Theory had, what most wrestlers had, including Velveteen Dream. So they took him off TV and they're like, oh, we gotta do something else now. So we're back to Andrade and Angel Garza are gonna split up. And also Zelina Vega was looking last night. But next match. Now, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. We all know this allegations. What allegations? My God. Not allegations. What happened to them was it last week? It was last week with the guy driving from South Carolina, breaking into Sonya Deville's house. If you guys did not know about it, look it up. If you read it, it's like, dang, bro, that's some scary stuff. So, it was going to be a hair versus hair match. And then I think honestly with the stuff that happened to Sonya and Mandy, Sonya just wants to take time away. Now, her wanting to take time away, them changing from a hair versus hair match to a loser leaves the company. I think maybe it's just her want to get time away, maybe go back with her family, and then maybe she'll come back at the Rumble. Maybe. So I really honestly I wasn't going to critique these two ladies hard like I do everybody else because, again, for them even showing up to work, it literally was just a week ago that this stuff happened to the two girls. And it's like, they showed up to even work. So I give them respect for even showing up to work. Because, again, if they'd have said, hey, I don't feel like working, I wouldn't have blamed them. Because that's some terrifying stuff that happened to them, man. Like, literally, they both could have ended up dead. Like, literally. They both could have been killed a week ago. And, for them even showing up to even work this match, I wasn't going to be hard on them. For them even showing up to work the match. So it was changed from a hair versus hair match to a no DQ, loser leaves the company. For now. Sonya Deville, literally, if you want to say something bright about the pandemic, you'd say Sonya Deville stepped up her game to a level that I didn't think she had it, but like she proved that she could cut a great promo. Her acting was off, like literally her acting was off the charts. Like the way from what we saw the last 3 years to what she was doing this year, she was great. Mandy Rose, again, everybody thought she was going to be another Eva Marie type wrestler, just a gorgeous girl but couldn't wrestle. Hell, even Mandy stepped up her game, people, and she's becoming better than what she was before. So, honestly, I wasn't going to be too hard on these ladies. I think it was about 10 minutes, about 10 to 12 minute match. Would I love to see them use more weapons? Yeah, but again, I wasn't going to be too hard on the ladies. Mandy ended up beating Sonya Deville. Okay match, but I wasn't going to be too hard on the ladies. Even though people said this was the worst match on SummerSlam, I wasn't going to be hard on the ladies because of what happened. But Mandy did win. She beat Sonya Deville. And hopefully Mandy gets a shot at Bayley because Bayley's beating everybody on SmackDown. Bayley's beating everybody on SmackDown. Hopefully maybe give Mandy a couple weeks off. She comes back, then she challenges Bayley. But we probably won't get to that because I believe next was Seth Rollins. Was Seth Rollins versus Dominic next? I think it was, and then we had Sasha versus Asuka next after that. So let's get to Seth and Dominic. Probably the best match on SummerSlam was Seth and Dominic, which I thought it was going to be the best match on SummerSlam. Because usually when you have these street fight type of matches, they tend, if you have a great worker in the match, it usually turns out to be the best match on the show. And this was the best match on the show, Seth versus Dominic. What a weekend for debuts. Pat McAfee on NXT shocked the hell out of me on NXT. And then we had Dominic last night, which he looks pretty damn good. Now, I wouldn't say... I honestly think Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole was better than Seth and Dominic. But the storytelling, I'll give you this, the storytelling for Seth Rollins has been off the chart. So I'll say the storytelling in this match was better than Pat McAfee and Adam Cole. But the overall match, I think Adam Cole and Pat McAfee was better. Seth, again, he's probably doing the best work of his career, in my opinion. Now, Seth Rollins is a heel. I was like, you're gonna turn Seth heel? I mean, he was burning down Seth Rollins. Then you're gonna turn the guy heel. He's been fantastic as the Messiah. Like Jesus, his character. No pun intended, the Messiah, Jesus. But Seth Rollins has been great as this role, which is just... He's carried Monday Night Raw until you put Bayley and Sasha. But Seth Rollins has been carrying Monday Night Raw. Literally, he's been carrying it on his back. And Dominic, I thought he did pretty good. You know, Seth carried him in the match. Yes, he did. But I thought the moments that Dominic did have in the match to show his ability, the frog splashes, the arm drags. What else did he do? Pretty much that was the highlight of Dominic, bro. I mean, he did get a little bit gassed doing the 619 because like he didn't get the full water of the 619, but he was kind of gassed. Which I mean, come on, he was about 25 to 30 minutes this match was. So for him to have that much of a stamina for his first match, 30-minute match with Seth Rollins, one of the best in-ring workers in the company. Props to you, Dominic, for being able to sustain that amount of stamina against Seth Rollins, but. I thought Seth was going to win. There's no way I think Dominic was going to beat Seth Rollins. The key is, too, when is Seth going to take time off with Becky Lynch? Well, it's coming probably in my mind. Because, again, he was supposed to take time off at the beginning of the year. But then the pandemic happened. And he had to carry Monday Night Raw on his back. So, we'll see what... Now, as far as Seth Rollins, do they do maybe... We'll get into Payback. Because there's a lot of stuff that I think might happen at Payback. Or there might be nothing that happens at Payback. Maybe you do Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Seth and Buddy Murphy at Payback, and then maybe that's when they get their Rey and Dominic win. We'll see. But I thought overall this was the best match on SummerSlam. And props to Seth Rollins and props to Dominic for having the best match. Now, probably the second best match of the night would be my girl. It's just crazy to me. Sasha's never had a belt title reign longer than 4 weeks. Oh my God. Hopefully maybe this will be the time when she does beat Bayley. She'll have it longer than 4 weeks. But Sasha versus Asuka. This is probably their best match they had. They had a match on Raw. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. That was really good. This was better. This is the second best match of the night. My girl Sasha Banks against Asuka. Jesus. This is really good. This is really good. Now, I know a lot of people are pissed that Sasha lost her belt last night. I'm one of them too, but calm down, people. When she beats Bayley for the belt, hopefully she beats Bayley for the belt, she'll get her reign. She'll get her little reign going. But this was the second best match of the night. Sasha and Asuka, great work. Go back and watch it. But hopefully, Sasha does beat Bayley and she gets her real title run that she's been deserving. She's been deserving for the last 2 years. Sasha gets her title reign. Maybe you turn Sasha back babyface. I don't know, but I love her as a heel. Sasha's great as a heel. Please, that's the one thing about it is like, do you turn Sasha back to a babyface, or do you keep her as a heel? Because I think her as a heel is where it's at. But we'll see, man. But I just hopefully down the line when Sasha does beat Bayley, she gets her real title reign. Hopefully. After Sasha and Bayley, I think we had 2 matches left, which was the title matches. I don't think I missed anything. Did I? No. Next is Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I was surprised it wasn't the main event. And then I was like thinking to myself, Vince did say the hashtag is you won't see it coming. I was like, okay, is Braun Strowman going to get attacked by Retribution? Is Braun Strowman going to be the leader for Retribution? Is Bray Wyatt going to be the leader for Retribution? I was like, I didn't think Roman Reigns was going to come back. We'll get to that after this. But Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre, I was surprised it wasn't the main event. Because again, I was like, usually, wouldn't this be the main event? You were building as the main event. So, Orton versus McIntyre. It was good. It wasn't great. It was good. It wasn't great. I said pretty much the theme of SummerSlam. Good, but not great. That's the theme of SummerSlam. It was good, but not great. Randy and Drew, they worked hard. I was surprised Drew did win. I'm not going to lie. I was surprised Drew McIntyre did win. I was surprised about that. Because, again, the way they were building up Randy Orton, you would think Orton was going to beat Drew McIntyre. But he did. But Drew does beat Randy Orton with a backslide. Drew beat Randy Orton with a backside. At that moment, I was like, you will never see it coming. Is that the theme right there? You would never see it coming. Randy Orton loses to a backside roll up. I was like, yo. But again, we'll get to payback in a second. Drew does beat Randy Orton. It was a good match, but not great, in my opinion. Main event. Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. Falls count anywhere. They tried, but I didn't care. Listen, it is Vince McMahon's fault that I don't care about Bray Wyatt. It was a year ago this man debuted as The Fiend. A year ago. And I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't care. Like, you freaked up Bray Wyatt to the point where I don't care. It was a year ago. This man was the hottest thing in your company. You had him lose to Goldberg. And that killed Bray Wyatt. To the point where he's just an entrance. Like, I don't care. Braun Strowman, if his matches go longer than 5 to 10 minutes, it's an issue. And this is like about 15 to 20. Too much. All right, Bray Wyatt beats Braun Strowman. I don't care. Let's get to the freaking end. All right, people. Now, we all know Roman Reigns missed WrestleMania because of the pandemic. At the point where I was like, it makes sense that he missed WrestleMania because, again, he had cancer, pre-existing cancer. You're like, you know what? We don't know nothing about COVID yet. To the point where, like, what's the how about this? How you put it? What's the side effects to COVID after you get it? Now, we've seen people, there's some football players that have heart issues after having COVID. We've seen people that had heart issues. Most of the ones that I've seen is people that have heart issues. Like, you don't know what's the side effect of COVID after you get it. Like, some of my family members have had COVID, but no real side effects just yet. But we've seen people end up in the hospital where they had to have heart issues after getting COVID. So, Does Roman Reigns know the main side effects of COVID? I mean, I'm sure to the point where he's been doing his research, he's had doctors probably tell him, like, hey, if I go back to work right now, what'll be the issues if I did get COVID? Now, to the point now where WWE's actually testing their superstars, which we know in the past they weren't testing. They were just letting people in the building after getting a little temperature check. That's it. and not actually testing people. But now they're actually testing people. And also now they're out of the performance center where there's more area to use around the company now. I think maybe that's what brought Roman back that said, hey, Vince is like, hey, okay, Roman, now we're at the Amway Center. We're in a bigger arena, a bigger building. We're testing people now. Do you want to come back? It's been, 3 to 4 months. Do you want to come back? I think they won Roman over, but he probably did want to get, hey, he probably has a doctor now that was telling him, hey, if you do go back, yeah, they're testing everybody now, so you should be okay. But again, the thing to me is that COVID's worse than it was before now. So Roman is back now. I mean, hopefully that nobody gets COVID again. Hopefully, Kayla Braxton said she had COVID twice. I just hope everything works out for Roman, that he doesn't get COVID. I know he just had 2 new twins. Hopefully it works out for you, Roman. Hopefully it works out. Now we got that out of the way. Roman comes back. I love the fucking shirt. Sorry for cussing, but I love this shirt, man. I might, listen, if Roman Reigns is heel, I might buy that shirt. I like it. Wreck everyone and leave. That's kind of like Stone Cold. Raise hell and leave. Raise hell and leave. Now, the big issue here is Roman did spear Bray Wyatt. Listen, all you Fiend fans, I'm sorry, bro. Listen, Vince ruined the character when he lost to Goldberg. Honestly, he'd probably ruined the character when he lost to Seth Rollins. Well, he didn't lose. The match was stopped. The Hell in a Cell match was stopped. I think at that point, Bray Wyatt as the Fiend was already like, how are you going to recover? To the point now where it's like, do you care about the Fiend? I mean, his entrance is great as freak. I love the entrance. But let's get to Roman Reigns. Now, Bray Wyatt worked as a babyface in this match, and Braun worked as the heel. You had Roman Reigns spear Bray Wyatt. You had him spear Braun Strowman. He told Braun Strowman, I made you. You're here because I made you. Which is true. Braun Strowman was made by Roman Reigns, in my opinion. I don't care about this. He was. He told The Fiend, you're a freak in a mask. You can't run this company. This is my house. That's coming off a kind of heelish. Would you not say, guys? It's kind of heelish. Now, if Vince McMahon turned Roman Reigns heel, there's no crowd. There's no crowd. There's no crowd. So Vince could do whatever he wants now, Roman. There's no crowd. There's nobody that can boo. There's nobody that can cheer. Vince controls the pumped in sound noise. Vince can do whatever he wants. He controls the sound noise. Now, I don't know. We'll see what happens on SmackDown, but Payback is next week. Do I think we'll see a title match between Bray Wyatt, Strowman, and Roman? Probably not. I think we'll probably get Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns for now at Payback, and then we'll probably get AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy. We already know we're getting the women's tag team title match. Maybe Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley. Nakamura and Cesaro versus whoever else. I don't know. But I don't think we'll get The Fiend, Strowman, and Roman yet in the triple threat match. Maybe we do. I'll be shocked. But as far as Roman Reigns being a heel, I hope so. Because he came off as a badass last night. That was like, oh, I like this. We liked this Roman Reigns last night. We liked the Roman Reigns we had last night. But we'll find out on SmackDown if he's a heel. Glad he's back because SmackDown was god-awful. Like, that's crazy that a show that's 2 hours is worse than a show that's 3 hours. That's, to me, still mind-blowing that a show that's 2 hours is worse than a show that's 3 hours. It's crazy. Before we end the video, though, Keith Lee, I'm praying for you, my brother. I am praying for you. Hopefully Vince McMahon treats you. Please, Vince, treat Keith Lee with the respect that he's deserved of. Please. Now, for our SummerSlam, again, I thought it was okay. Nothing special. If you missed it, you missed it. It was nothing groundbreaking. Besides Roman Reigns coming back, I mean, really, it was nothing that you would miss that you haven't seen before, probably, people. So if you could like the video, guys, comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, people. Not Twitch, Jesus Christ. Maybe Twitch in the future. Maybe we'll get it. Listen, maybe with the PS5 we'll do a Twitch in the future. But Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. I still haven't posted TikTok, but if you want to follow TikTok, it's still down below. I'll catch you guys back here a little bit later. We got to do the Batman trailer for you guys. It was a big DC weekend. So I'll catch you guys back here on the channel. As far as Raw and SmackDown, the podcast, people that we were doing before, we'll see. Or I'll just do it as like I was doing it before. We'll just have a weekly segment. We'll do something like that. Yeah, we'll do something like that weekly segment again. I may still probably bring back the podcast, but until Roman Reigns came back last night, guys, there was literally nothing to talk about. Like, it's just that wrestling to general is just without fans is just like, do you really care to watch? Like, honestly, guys, AEW's bringing back fans now, but the thing with WWE was they said there'll be no fans until October. Because the way they worded it was they agreed with the Amway Center there'll be no fans until October. So we'll see if Vince McMahon keeps that or not. But no fans until October. Like, it's going to be hard. But we'll see how AEW does it, though. We know there's a pay-per-view this weekend for AEW. There's a pay-per-view again next week for WWE with Payback. So we'll see how it goes, people. But glad that Roman Reigns is back. Bring some type of life to SmackDown. Because God knows SmackDown's been god-awful, people. So I'll catch you guys back here later on. We're going to do the Batman trailer reaction, Wonder Woman reaction, and a little bit more stuff. But I'll catch you guys back here later on the channel.